Hi, and welcome back to another virtual ants video. Today we will be creating a Formicarium. This Formicarium will be made out of plaster. For the mix, you will need only plaster and water. I use plaster of Paris, though I don't think that whatever brand the plaster is from really matters. You don't want to put too much water in, as the mix is made mainly of plaster powder. You will now want to put the plaster in slowly. You don't want it to be in big bunches, otherwise it gets all chunky and takes longer to make. I use a sort of panning technique to even it out and to gradually get faster. After pouring the plaster in and observing that the powder is not absorbing into the water anymore. Now it is time to start mixing. I just use my fingers, but if you don't like the feeling, then I suggest using just an old spoon or anything like that. Though you will still need to add more plaster into the mix until it is a yogurt-like texture, or as thick as you want really. Sadly, I managed to get distracted and I came back to a solid ball of plaster. So I had to get back to work and I created. Now, for creating the tunnels, I'm using moulding clay as it is free of chemicals and looks cool. Though, if you're using the clay that I am, you'll need to play for it a bit until it gets easier to mould, as it can be very tough at the start. Now for creating the tunnels. The tunnels are my favourite part, as you can make it look as complex or to as simple as you want. Now, I'm going to be making a more simple one, as I'm planning to be nesting larger ants, like bull ants or carpenter ants. After you have your design, you'll want to start smoothing it out, and make sure there's no little places that the plaster can slip into. Now that you have your container and the lid, all you need to do is fill it up with plaster, and then compress the lid down until it can't go anymore. And before the plaster dries up, I recommend wiping the excess off. And now, just let it sit.
I don't deny there's some strange evolutionary process going on.
After leaving it for 5 to 10 minutes, it should be fully hard, and you can try and remove the lid.
You and I are working here today. It's evidence of that.
Removing the lid could take some time if the lid was stuck down really tight. I was super happy how it ended up. Though you should still keep the clay so you can make more things like these. Now, you want to grab something that you can make your holes, so the ants can get in and out of the nest. Since it has such a big range to choose from, I'm going to be using the small one, since it has the biggest head, and it fits almost perfectly with the holes that I have created. Now, for the hydration part of the nest, I highly recommend using a sponge in your hydration hole, so that the water doesn't sit and get all moldy or flood the ants on the other side of the nest. The sponge that I used was a kitchen sponge, but it doesn't really matter what sponge you use, as long as it hasn't been used with chemicals, or if it's just fresh and it's not got any mold or anything like that, then it should be just fine. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like these videos, I recommend you go check out my channel and hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you can see when I post my new videos.